Hello everyone, I am AtheistAnime and welcome to the do's and don'ts of Sombra, what she can and can't do and all the ins and outs to her character that I myself could discover about her. As you'll see from this video, I ran multiple tests with two of my friends, with every other character in the game, including Sombra herself, and some Sombra on Sombra action, if you like that kind of stuff. But yes, we went through many interactions, and when it comes to Sombra herself, she can be seen when cloaked, but only when standing right next to someone. She can also stay cloaked when using her teleport grenade, but hacking or shooting or using your melee will automatically bring you out of your cloak. Interestingly, there is a delay between uncloaking and actually firing your gun. About a second's delay of you pressing the fire button, Sombra will take time to uncloak. I could find this quite crippling for her, as she'll have to be a lot more strategic of where she decides to uncloak and start firing from. It means you can't just uncloak in front of someone, because most likely, considering her 200 health, she'll die a lot faster than any of her targets will. She can also drop Roadhog very quickly with one clip of her gun. If all headshots are landed, she can drop Roadhog without him healing, of course. He can out heal her gun, but for only one clip. So this means that if her gun is very powerful, even just all body shots nearly kills Roadhog. Of course, this is a Roadhog who isn't defending himself, but if you can manage to catch a Roadhog off guard and he can't shoot you, you could very likely kill Roadhog in 2 clips of your gun, assuming he doesn't heal. Speaking of healing, Sombra, as you could probably expect, can cancel a lot of things, and as I go through all the characters, you'll see the things that she can cancel. When it comes to heroes, we'll start off with Genji. Now, of course, Sombra cannot stop his dash, as that is an instantaneous movement, and there's no possible way that Sombra would stop that mid-dash. Of course, as how Sombra works, she can stop any and all abilities from being used. But the strange thing is that she can only stop some abilities while they are being used. Of course, and I'll go through these as I encounter them. For example, she can stop Genji's deflect while he's doing it, but considering the length of time it takes Sombra to hack Genji's deflect, he'll probably be most likely almost finished with it by the time you've hacked him. So using your hack to stop Genji's deflect is very impractical, as it's very unlikely you'll ever catch him during his deflect in time to actually make any noticeable difference between the time of him deflecting. You can also stop Genji while he is ulting. This means that Sombra is a very good counter to Genji ult, which means if you hear Genji ulting, just wait for him to get close and you can perform your own ult and you will stop his ult. McCree is barely affected at all by Sombra, being only his ultimate which can actually be stopped by him, or by her, I apologise, as his flashbang and his roll are instantaneous movements and therefore cannot be stopped by Sombra's hack while mid ability. Of course, he can also, all of his abilities can be stopped by Sombra. I'll try not to repeat that throughout the video, as that's fairly obvious that that's what a hack will do, is it does just cancel all abilities from being able to be activated, including ultimates. We come to Reaper, and as with everything, while in Wraith form he is completely untargetable, even by Sombra's hack, which means that Reaper can potentially use his Wraith form to get out of Sombra hack, as long as he can notice it fast enough. Reaper's teleport could feasibly be stopped by Sombra's ultimate, but it is very unlikely you'd be able to notice it in time to actually stop him. And her basic hack is not fast enough to stop him. You'd have to be mid-hack and him teleporting while you're mid-hack for it to actually stop him. Reaper's ultimate can also be stopped by Sombra, but you most likely have to use your ultimate to stop Reaper ultimate, as your basic hack is nowhere near fast enough to stop Reaper's ult before he's able to kill you. Pharah is another odd case, of course, with any other character. All of her abilities are stopped by Sombra hack, but surprisingly, her hover jets are still able to be used. She can still use her jetpack to hover in the air for a short period of time. That is not stopped. This will be a recurring theme with many of the other characters' passives, but of course I'll point out any inconsistencies of that as I find them. And of course, Pharah's ultimate can also be stopped while she is ulting by Sombra's hack. Another interesting thing to note about Sombra is that when she's hacked someone, she can see if they have their ultimate yet or not. While this is, in my opinion, a little bit impractical, as usually when you go to if you want to see someone's ultimate charge, you'll usually be able to see that when you've been killed by them. You can simply watch kill cams of people, but I can see how it could be useful. Whenever Sombra hacks a health pack, not only does it make it completely unusable by the enemy team, but it makes it regen much faster for the ally team. This means that whenever you pick up a health pack, the health pack will come back a lot faster, noticeably faster. than it normally would do, meaning your team can make much better use out of said health packs. Of course, with Tracer, with any other character, Sombra can stop any Tracer from being able to blink and recall, which will be incredibly crippling for a Tracer, so there's a counter for you there. But Sombra cannot stop Tracer ult. We performed 2 tests. If Sombra is stuck, or if the bomb is in mid-flight, Sombra cannot stop it. So there's that removed from the picture. And finally, for the attackers, we have Soldier 76 himself. And Soldier, he's an interesting one as well. When he's placed down his Baltic field, Sombra cannot hack Soldier to stop the Baltic field. But if Soldier begins sprinting and Sombra hacks him, he can still continue his sprint. But if he stops sprinting, he cannot then begin sprinting. Bit interesting there that Sombra's hack can stop someone just being able to use physical abilities like that. But it's a video game, I'll let it slide. Soldier's ultimate also cannot be stopped by Sombra's hack. This is interesting as it seems to be a little bit inconsistent about what ultimate Sombra's hack wants to be able to stop. It can stop Genji from being able to swing a sword, but it can't stop Soldier from using an aimbot. Sure, odd, but we'll roll with it. And of course, Helix rockets are stopped by Sombra hack, as long as he hasn't fired them yet. Now, Hanzo is a possible counter to Sombra, as Sombra cannot stop Hanzo from ulting, even if he hasn't fired his arrow yet. Sombra's hack will not stop Hanzo ult. And another interesting thing to point out is that Hanzo's arrow, his sight arrow, can see Sombra even when she's cloaked, as long as she's standing near it. But interesting to point out is that Widow Ultimate does not see Sombra, at least from what we could tell. And also, Sombra can also hack Hanzo. But Hanzo is completely one of the characters who seems to be completely unhackable. Of course, hacking him before he uses his ult will stop him being able to use his ult. But it seems to be that, from what we could tell, it might be that he can't switch to arrows when he's been hacked, but if he has already switched to an arrow when he is hacked, then he will still retain that arrow. Mei is rather self-explanatory. Her stuff is already activated by the time Sombra can hack her, so hacking Mei is almost useless other than to stop her from being able to use her abilities. It cannot negate currently used abilities, for example her ult and all such things. And of course, as Mei's ult is something that is technically untargetable and is not a physical entity in the game world, Sombra cannot hack it. Junkrat is another example of a character who, when his abilities are already in use, he cannot be hacked while doing them. Even hacking Junkrat will not stop his martyrdom. If he is to die, he will still drop that. It seems to be, again, a recurring theme that Sombra cannot stop passive abilities. And of course, Sombra cannot stop Junkrat's ultimate, as again, that is a separate entity and Sombra is unable to hack it. Even her ultimate will not stop his ultimate. And then finally, we come to Torbjorn, who, when his turret is already out, you cannot hack Torbjorn to stop the turret, which is kind of self-explanatory, but you can hack the turret in all 3 states. It can be hacked and stopped, as long as, of course, Sombra herself is not being targeted. Sombra cannot continue hacking if she is shot or takes any form of damage, so you have to be careful with that. Roadhog is interesting, as you can stop his heal at any point, even if he's activated, so this is a in-use ability that can be stopped by Sombra. But his hook, from what we could tell, we couldn't tell if his hook could actually be stopped by Sombra hack, but it would probably be one of those scenarios where any Sombra player would not be able to react anywhere near fast enough to be able to stop Roadhog hook before it's hooked someone and is already pulling them towards Roadhog. And of course, Sombra's hack can stop Roadhog ultimate. Now, Bastion was an interesting one. When hacked, he cannot enter his sentry form, his turret mode, but if he is in turret mode and is hacked, he is automatically kicked out of turret mode. This was something I wasn't expecting, as I believe that it was simply a different state for him, as in, like, crouching. But it does seem to be that Sombra's hack will completely negate Bastion's ability to be in turret mode. And of course, the same things apply. He cannot heal himself either, but his ultimate is not stopped by Sombra hack. So that is something to point out. Strange that Bastion cannot sit in a turret form, but he can still sit in his tank mode. But, game logic, I'm sure someone will be able to figure out some kind of lore reason for it. Now, Widowmaker, again, same deal with any other character. The funny thing with Widow is that her ultimate cannot be stopped. Even if you hack her, her ultimate will still take place and will still be recurring, even if Sombra is behind walls and such. But like I said before, Sombra cannot be seen by Widowmaker ult when she is invisible. Next up we have D.Va, and Sombra, if she is fast enough, will be able to stop D.Va from using her jump jets. But of course, considering how fast D.Va moves with her jump jets, it's very unlikely Sombra would actually be able to stop her jump jets from activating and continuing the full process, as D.Va most likely get out of Sombra's range before she can actually hack, before she can actually be hacked. Sombra can also stop D.Va's defense matrix, but D.Va's defense matrix will still recharge even when hacked. So keep that in mind, Sombra player. And as I was expecting, but my friends tried to convince me otherwise, D.Va ult cannot be stopped by Sombra hack. This, I felt that was kind of self-explanatory, as D.Va's ultimate is a separate entity and is completely unhackable. It's completely untargetable by other enemy, I guess, other ally and enemy abilities, so why would Sombra be any different? But we tried with her ultimate, and no, it cannot be stopped. And frankly, I think that would be a little bit overpowered if it could. And of course, with D.Va, if she's unmech'd and hacked, she cannot re-enter her mech, as you know, Sombra hack stops all ultimates, and D.Va's recall is technically an ultimate. But Sombra cannot stop D.Va while she is remeching. Now we move on to Reinhardt, and Reinhardt could prove as a possible counter for Sombra, like a semi-counter, as his shield, Sombra cannot hack through Reinhardt's shield, but she can throw her teleport grenade, teleport her through Reinhardt's shield. If Reinhardt is hacked with his shield up, he will automatically put it down, but it will not destroy it. So, and of course, Reinhardt cannot activate his fire strike while he is hacked. An interesting thing to point out is when he is ulted by Sombra, his shield does not simply just disappear, it is destroyed, no matter where Reinhardt is currently standing. Even if he is standing with his shield facing Sombra, Sombra's ultimate will still destroy Reinhardt's shield. So Reinhardt is, in that case, not a counter completely. Like I said, he's a semi-counter. And finally for tanks, we have Winston. And Winston is another possible counter for Sombra, as his Tesla coil gun, or whatever they want to call it, it can still target Sombra even when she is invisible. So think of him like a pyro from TF2. You can use him to cover doors and such, see if someone wants to run through them. But of course, there are better uses for Winston other than that. But it's a possible new use for him. His jump jets are still unusable when hacked, but considering his jump jets are an instantaneous use like Pharah's, Sombra cannot hack him while he is mid-jump jet. Sombra can also not hack through Winston's shield, and unfortunately, because we're idiots, we did not test, but I think it can be very easily assumed that his shield is destroyed by Sombra ultimate, not dissimilar to Reinhardt. Winston's ultimate cannot be stopped by Sombra's regular hack or her ultimate, so there you go for that. But don't worry, he can still eat his peanut butter. And I forgot about Zarya here. Zarya's shield, her bubble, can stop Sombra hack as with any other shield. But Sombra ultimate will destroy Zarya's shield, but it will not destroy her regular shields. Zarya's bubble shield will protect her from Sombra ultimate, but it will still destroy her bubble shield. Sombra's hack will not get rid of Zarya's charge, and a regular hack does not get rid of regular shields. It's only Sombra's ultimate which gets rid of shields. And a hack does not stop shield recharge either. Shields will still recharge even if they've been hacked regularly. And I believe even when they've been altered by Sombra, their shields will still eventually recharge. This does make Zarya a somewhat, again, a semi-counter to Sombra, as she does have her bubble shields can protect people from Sombra's hack. So if Zarya is fast enough, she can spot a Sombra hacking someone and put a bubble shield on them. So another use for Zarya. And I like the fact that Zarya is somewhat of a counter to Sombra, as we can kind of see in the cinematic trailer for Sombra, that Zarya does seem to be the one who's going to be going after her and such, being sent by the Russians. But I'll maybe talk about more about that in a later video. Now moving on to some of the supports, we have Ana first. Her biotic grenade, all of her abilities of course are regularly stopped, but hacking Ana while she has someone sleep darted will not wake up someone, because that really doesn't make any sense. And if he has already used her biotic grenade, hacking Ana will not stop her biotic grenade. And his ultimate is not stopped by hack, so Ana is almost completely unaffected by Sombra anymore. She's not affected any more than any other character would be normally. Lucio is almost completely unaffected any more than any other character. When he is hacked, he can't switch between speed boost and heal, so it could be a good idea to catch. If you can possibly catch a Lucio before he's made it to the front lines and hack him while he's in speed boost, he can't keep his team healed, but he can still speed boost them, of course. He can't use his amp it up ability to make his speed boost or heal any stronger. And Sombra ultimate does stop Lucio's shield, his ultimate, but her regular hack does not, as with any other shield in the game. Mercy, again, is another character who's barely affected. Her healing and her damage boost cannot be stopped by Sombra hack, as well as her flight, but of course, she cannot be stopped mid-flight, and her hover is still available to her, even if she has been hacked. Obviously, we did not bother testing, but it's very obvious to say that Mercy ultimate cannot be stopped by Sombra, as Mercy's ultimate is instantaneous. Symmetra is another interesting one. Her turrets cannot see Sombra while invisible, same with any other turrets. So you can't just set Symmetra turrets in any random location, choke points that Sombra want to go through, which I think would have been a nice little buff for Symmetra, but seeing as they're going to be reworking her soon, or at some point, they might not have bothered. But I thought it would have been a nice thing for turrets to be able to spot Sombra while invisible, but that might have been too much for the game's mechanics to handle, I don't know. Also, Symmetra's gun cannot target Sombra unless she's standing right next to Symmetra. So that does, of course, again, while invisible. So, again, that is odd, as Winston's gun can target someone invisible, but it seems to be that Symmetra's gun cannot. And, of course, Sombra's ultimate does stop Symmetra's shields. And finally, moving on to Zenyatta. Zenyatta's Discord Orb can be removed from Sombra if she uses her teleport, so keep that in mind. But her going invisible, she still has a Discord Orb on her, but Zenyatta can no longer see her. For example, if a Discord Orbed enemy ran past the wall, so Zenyatta would still be able to see them for the few seconds that the orb would stay on them, but this is simply not the case with Sombra. But going invisible will not get rid of the Discord Orb. And, of course, Sombra ultimate will destroy Zenyatta's shields, leaving him almost basically dead. But her hack cannot stop his ultimate, as Zenyatta is technically completely untargetable while ulting. And also, Zenyatta's Harmony Orb cannot be hacked off of enemy targets, neither by hacking Zenyatta or by hacking the enemy who has the Harmony Orb on them. And teleporting as a Sombra with a Harmony Orb will not get rid of the Harmony Orb. And that's about it for this video. I've covered all possible interactions I could think of and could discover while playing as Sombra. If there's any that I've missed, please let me know. And until next time, and until the next character they release, I do plan to keep this a recurring theme of any new characters they release. I've got a recording set up for my PC. And if there's anything else you think, and like I said, anything you think I missed, anything you'd like to see me test that I didn't think of, please let me know in the comments. But until next time, I've been AtheistAnime. This has been Sombra, the do's and don'ts. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. How about some bootleg Overwatch then? That's it. Go away now, please. Just keep going. Yeah, fine, whatever. That's all good. That's all good. Yeah. Keep going. Yep. Fine. There you go. Yep. Okay. Good. Yep. Okay. Yep. Indeed. Why did I make such a fool out of myself?